Getting successful isn't rocket science. Do you know what it takes? Bare minimum effort in this video. These few habits of successful people will take you 10 steps closer to your goal if you incorporate them in your everyday life. But first, make sure you hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up while you're at it. Starting from the most basic habit, waking up early. Now you might roll your eyes and frown upon this and even forward this bit, but it is what it is. If you don't wake up early, you've already lost the battle. The deal here is that when you wake up early, your brain is in a chemically and psychologically active state of mind which boosts your creativity and memory. Why would schools and colleges and workplaces start early in the morning otherwise? Getting up before dawn is the most crucial here. Even if it feels as hard as crossing a mountain, it's only a matter of few days until it becomes your lifestyle. Then you wouldn't want it any other way. From big names like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk to Hollywood actors and the elite class, everyone believes in waking up early because they have made it that far and they know how they did it. After waking up early, you think successful people probably hit the gym or eat healthy breakfast and stuff. And while that is true, what's more important is resisting the screen. Since our minds are fresh and in an active state, we kill our productivity and our energy by picking up our phones the first thing in the morning. At least give yourself a 2 to 3 hour gap after which you can skim through your notifications. Usually we go for our phones and sometimes we do end up seeing messages and things that kill our energy. The blue rays also put our brains in a passive mode where you're just taking in information without retaining it. Wake up and go for a walk or just stand idly in your balcony for a few minutes. Lately, this has been a very active practice amongst the celebrities since they are almost always on media and getting some bad news or new gossips puts them off, which isn't that healthy. Moving on, the next important practice that successful people religiously do is making lists. They literally obsess over making lists. Jeff Bezos once mentioned in an interview how he wakes up and notes down 3 major things he has to do throughout the day, and he makes sure that he gets them done. So be it short-term goals or long-term goals, you can list down everything. And it's not because you might forget your tasks, but because once it's on paper, your mind will keep bugging you about getting it done because you considered it important enough to be noted down. This psychological trick will help you get done with your tasks before you know it. And of course, there's the mother of all practices, reading. As much as you hate it, dread it, and run from it, you will eventually have to get in the habit of doing it because that's 50% of how successful people make it. Reading isn't important because it gives you better vocabulary. It's important because it makes you intellectual and you can easily tackle conversations since you will be having the knowledge to do so. You can start by reading everyday news articles online or blogs that keep you hooked. Once you have a decent habit of doing that, you can go ahead with books that are meant to be read. Read things written by great minds, psychologists, leaders, and self-help writers because it is their thought processes that give us a different perspective. You will have newer ideas and clearer visions with amazing inspirations. With physical practices, there are some things that successful people prefer incorporating in their personalities, one of which is surrounding themselves with intelligent people. The people around us affect us the most. The more you encounter goal-driven and competitive people, the more you'll start thinking like them. Negative people with low energy will always drain your ideas. These people won't do anything themselves, and it's very likely that they will talk you out of your idea as well. When you do know that some people are envious or just uninterested, stop sharing your ideas with them, because getting rejected before you even start is just as bad. Now, if we talk numbers, it's safe to say that successful people love playing big. Most of us know them as risk takers, and they do indeed live up to that title. Buying, selling, and investing, that's literally the motto. Today, times are tough, and just one business or one job isn't enough. Even multi-billionaire Mark Zuckerberg keeps expanding his horizons by buying social media apps one after the other, and now he has an entire realm known as Meta. Just a couple years ago, no one would have thought of Meta coming to life, but because of the pandemic, we see great potential in Zuckerberg's new initiative. Become an entrepreneur by thinking of problem-solving ideas, since everything is so accessible now. People just want a hassle-free, easy life, and there's still way too much to explore in that area. Eliminate added expenses, especially food. As absurd as this might sound, it's actually pretty true. Many famous and successful people don't eat out much. That's because they know the cost of it is a complete ripoff. Food in restaurants costs nearly twice or thrice for the same food that you can prepare at home. Rich people prefer having chefs instead of eating out because the monthly cost is still pretty low. Be smart and don't get fooled by the food mafia. Eventually, by the end of their day, smart people make sure they get a good night's sleep because how else will they function the next morning? Taking care of their health and having early dinners with some exercise is a routine they stick to. Yes, you must be seeing pictures and stuff where you see them partying late at night, but that's a once-in-a-blue-moon case. Most business magnates make sure they stick to a strict routine because of meetings and trips that they have lined up. If you look at interviews of Jeff Bezos, you'll find him saying how he likes waking up before dawn, which is why he goes to bed really early. And then obviously, every successful person ever avoids activities that would waste their precious time. Every day and every hour counts, so why would they waste it by playing Candy Crush or by watching some fiction Netflix show? Even for entertainment, successful people prefer going to museums, safaris, national parks, or watching documentaries or read. These activities don't just serve as relaxers, but they also educate you one way or another, because like every other normal person, rich people also need a break. If you can skip a party and night of drinking and choose something more productive instead, then just know that you're halfway there. Now let me tell you about some psychological habits that affluent people have. They don't self-reject. If the idea of Amazon was rejected by Bezos himself, he would have never made it to the list of world's richest. If artists started rejecting their work thinking it isn't good enough, we would never get blockbusters or world hits. So many times people fail, just because they think whatever it is that they're doing is not good enough. Many people also back out because they think everyone's doing this. Even if the world is making clothes or baking cakes, it doesn't mean they're doing exactly what you might want to do. You can be innovative and different from the rest and stand out. At least that's what successful people do. So like them, don't hesitate and take the step. That's it for today. How many of these habits do you already possess? Let us know in the comments below and make sure you like, subscribe, and share.